Good afternoon. So I will try to keep this long historical story short. So I was asked by Rastio to share my personal story with you, but it will be very personal just at the beginning because my personal story each time is very linked to a lot of people. So by education, I'm an artist. My alma mater is very close to this place. By training, I'm a theater director, and I was doing that job years ago. But it was in the times when it was former Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia was still part of the communist bloc. So it somehow leads me to my new role, which was combined with my artistic background and my family. I became, in 1989, one of the student leaders here in Slovakia. So with a bunch of my friends and schoolmates, we were changing the political environment in former Czechoslovakia. So I was very, very involved in 1989 and 1990 into the political changes in this country. I was asked to be the part of the new post-communist government, but I escaped back to the art, but just for a short period of time, because somehow seeing all those new opportunities which was open after the revolution, I decided that I will be an entrepreneur. So it was the period of my life, which is still, and I hope still it will be pretty long, when I'm starting the new companies, still some of them are running very successfully, not only in Slovakia, but in Czech Republic, in US, in some other countries. And I was asking myself if there is something common with these different fields of interest: artist, entrepreneur, activist, revolutionary leader, and definitely there is something common. At the beginning, there is some strong vision, some dream, and you need a very diverse group of people to make it happen. And it was each time the same. Some big vision at the beginning, a lot of stuff which must be done, and with the right group of people, this will happen. So, AeroMobil story. My co-founder, Stefan Klein, was dreaming about the flying car for the years. He started to share this with me because we were schoolmates. He was at the Academy of Fine Arts. I was at the Academy of Performing Arts, really already 30 years ago. And I heard that you met yesterday the famous Slovak who escaped on a Rogalo across the Morava and Danube River. So for Stefan, this was like the inspiration that maybe the way how to escape from the former Czechoslovakia will be somehow to combine the car and the plane into one vehicle and to just escape. So then he started to tweak and find a way how to combine, as he's saying, how to marry the car and the plane. But of course, nobody was believing. This idea was so crazy that no investor, no support, simply totally crazy idea. He visited me at the end of 2009, absolutely frustrated, and he approached me as an entrepreneur and investor, because I'm investing as an angel investor into different startups, that let's do something with it, because if you will not help me, I will give up. And on the very first meeting, I decided, okay, because as an entrepreneur, I start to imagine that what could be done with this idea. So in 2010, we founded a company called AeroMobil, and from then on, the story started to be pretty fast. So here you can meet Stefan, my co-founder, who, by the way, he founded very respected transportation design faculty at the Academy of Fine Arts. And for example, probably you heard about Bugatti Veyron. It's designed by the Slovak student of him, who is actually at the moment the chief designer of Skoda and some other projects. So we started as two artists. At the end, it was 6 people, combining different skills and expertise. But somehow we were able to achieve some initial goals. So we were invited in 2013 to Montreal, and this was the first big milestone for the company and for us. We built what we are calling pre-prototype. So it was not the final prototype, but it was real, 100% real, and actually flew, and it was drove on the streets. And we tested it, and the whole world absolutely was amazed by this. So then, as an entrepreneur, I decided, okay, so let's go full throttle, keep the momentum. And I decided, okay, so the team must be much bigger. And as an entrepreneur, I'm really proud that from the cockpit of pre-prototype in just 10 months in a group of 12 people, including me, and definitely I'm not an engineer. We were able to build a new prototype, 3.0, and we started to really grow. And for those of you which don't saw before, it's 100% real, I swear. Mr. Ambassador with me and Minister of Foreign Affairs reveal the last public prototype in July in Brussels, in Justus Lipsius building. So we are demonstrating the last prototype, which demonstrating the functionality. So in 2.5 minutes, it transformed from car to the plane. And opposite way, for us, this is already the grandfather, because we are building the new ones, but they are still in a confidential mode. There's a Slovak James Bond, my co-founder. It's a lot of innovative IP behind these projects, and as you can see, you can drive it on the street as a regular car. It fits to the standard parking place, even if you can have a feeling that it's a bit longer because it's so sleek in design, but it's exactly the same size as a regular limousine. And you can take off from grass strip is enough, and you can fly. So there was done really hours and hours of flight tests, and you can find a lot of videos on YouTube and on our website. But as we are limited by time, I will skip this. Sorry for that. Here is the team which built the 3.0, the prototype which you already just saw on a video. So really very small team. So when we got the visits from Boeing, big automotive companies, all of them, they were simply not believing that that's possible, that such a small team could build something so complex and so difficult like the flying car. So of course the media went absolutely crazy. We were featured in really each of the global media. For us as a really still humble Slovaks, Elon Musk and Mark Andreessen were tweeting about us. The big brands, the big company, which and as an entrepreneur, I'm really respecting, like Virgin and Lenovo, are tweeting about us. We got a very respected engineering award as an Innovation of the Year by Popular Science in US. But you maybe will ask yourself, where is the business and why to build a flying car? So first, what must be said, that we are not the first ones trying to build a flying car. Actually, 100 years ago, the first trial for the flying car happens in US, 1917, 17, really very short time after the first car and first plane was introduced to the mankind. People were trying to combine them into one vehicle. And our vision is to lift personal transportation into three-dimensional space. So really shortly, where are the use cases? The first one, medium distance travel. It will be much faster than with a regular multi-vehicle or multimodal system. We got a lot of now calculation and data from NASA, from different countries. It will be definitely much more environmental friendly, it will be much more efficient, and at the end also much more emotional or exciting. The second one, which Rast already mentioned, daily congestion, maybe not so much here in Europe, but in Asia, daily congestion time, it's close to 4 hours. So let's imagine how much time will be saved for the private lives of the people. But definitely the biggest use case, all those countries without an infrastructure, China, Africa, there are plans for 8 trillion, which will be spent by the end of 2030 for the missing infrastructure. So, how to achieve that goal? Like with cell phones. When they started, it was niche product for the niche market. There was no infrastructure, but in a very short period of time, less than 20 years, they changed everything. So our initial product, which we are now building, it's a supercar combined with a small plane, which we will start to commercialize next year, but that's just the start. The future will be the combination of the technologies which are already here, sharing services like Uber, but there are many of other companies like that, and at the same time, not just the boring self-driving car, but the self-flying car. Autonomy will be, and my vision is that the adoption will be much faster from the air to the ground because people are so used for something called autopilot, and this is already here. So we are already working on some technical vision of the next generation of AeroMobil, which will be then, you will not need to own it, you will just have an access to the service. Mobility is a service. Regarding infrastructure, of course, the last mile will be done as a car each time, but you can combine existing infrastructure with a new one, so we don't need zillions of tarmac and zillions of concrete. Grass strip is enough, it will be very environmental friendly, and it could be done and built very easily and super fast. Of course, we are not the only ones. We are now competing with a lot of military-based projects. Now more and more flying cars again are coming to the market, and we are so proud here from Slovakia that we are leading the way. Not that I'm thinking that, but all the respected tech media really feeling that AeroMobil is on that position. We are creating a lot of IP, but what I really want to share with you that what started as a, let's call it, bunch of Slovaks doing the flying car, now is really a truly European project. At the moment we are more than 60 people from 8 different European countries. We have an amazing advisory board. I have there the former chairman of Aston Martin, former chairman of McLaren, a few Formula 1 teams, the famous and most respected inventor from US, Dean Kamen. There's a management team, a few Slovaks, and Doug McAndrew, the new CTO, very experienced engineer. Here is the core engineering team, very, very respected. Some of them really the star engineers from Formula 1 teams, from Airbus, Eurocopter, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and so on. So really, the team is amazing. So now it's not anymore naive dream of few Slovaks. We are a trust-based company, and we are combining the learning because nothing like this was done before. So people from automotive are learning a lot of stuff from the people from aviation and opposite way. And connections. It's at the end everything about the connections, how we will connect the car to the plane, how we will connect the markets, how we will connect the different cultures to make this dream happen. And discussing this in European environments, and that's the last message which I would like to say, is that our vision is totally different to the Silicon Valley approach that let's fight with the regulation and regulation will follow innovation. That's not the right thing because at the end, my wife, my kid, my friends will sit in one of those vehicles and I must be sure that it's absolutely safe and functional, and here comes the regulation. So we are building the initial product, respecting all the existing regulation, which may be surprising, but we are able to build it under the current legal framework, and we are also cooperating both with EASA, with FAA, to define the future regulation, which will be ready for the future products. So, thank you very much, and I believe as one of the famous investors for the global technology like SpaceX and Tesla, Peter Thiel, that maybe also Slovakia or Europe could be the right place for the next big thing. Thank you very much.